Eyes covered, hands tied. The guards raise their rifles. You hear the command, "Ready, aim!" And just before they pull the trigger, a horse gallops in. A messenger yells, "Stop the execution! You've been spared, but your mind? It'll never be the same again." This isn't fiction, this is real. This is Fyodor Dostoevsky. Fyodor Dostoevsky isn't just a writer, he's the architect of the human soul's darkest corridors. He gave us Crime and Punishment, The Brothers Karamazov, Notes from Underground. Not just novels, but philosophical battlegrounds. His stories aren't about heroes, they're about broken people. People like us. But to understand his writing, you have to understand him. The man behind the words, the pain behind the pages. Born in 1821 in Moscow, Fyodor was the second of 7 children. His father, a strict military doctor. His mother, gentle and religious. The family lived on the grounds of the hospital for the poor. Every day, young Fyodor saw suffering, the kind most people turn away from. He didn't turn away. He absorbed it, like a sponge, and it shaped everything. He wasn't a strong child. He was often sick, but brilliant. At 9, he read Shakespeare. At 12, he devoured Goethe and the Bible. He didn't just read books. He wrestled with them. At 15, Fyodor's mother died of tuberculosis. He was shipped off to a military engineering academy, cold, rigid, and soulless. But the real trauma came at 17. His father, alcoholic, angry, controlling, was murdered. Strangled by his own serfs, they say. Fyodor never spoke of it, but years later his characters would. Patricide, the killing of a father, became a recurring theme in his novels. This wasn't just therapy through fiction. It was confession. It was penance. In his 20s, Dostoevsky quit engineering and pursued writing full-time. A bold move in Tsarist Russia. His first novel, Poor Folk, made waves. Critics hailed him as a literary prodigy, but the fame was fleeting. His next works flopped. The same critics who praised him turned on him. Worse, he joined a radical group of thinkers, the Petrashevsky Circle. They believed in free speech, freedom of the press, even, gasp, abolishing serfdom. The Tsar didn't like that. In 1849, Dostoevsky was arrested, imprisoned, and sentenced to death. He spent 8 agonizing months in prison. Then he was taken to the execution yard, blindfolded, stood in line. One prisoner wept, another went mad. And Dostoevsky, he stared death in the face and waited. Then a royal pardon, last minute. The trauma, permanent. He later wrote, "To be so near death and then to come back to life is a resurrection." His real punishment was just beginning. 4 years in a Siberian prison camp. No writing, no books, just cold, pain, and forced labor. He was chained next to murderers, thieves, and psychopaths, but he listened, he observed, and he began to understand the human condition, not in theory, but in practice. He wrote later, "The degree of civilization in a society can be judged by entering its prisons. Siberia broke many men. It remade Dostoevsky." After Siberia, he returned to writing, but life didn't get easier. He developed epilepsy. His first wife died young. His brother died too, leaving Fyodor buried in debt. To escape, he gambled hard. He pawned his clothes. He begged for loans. Sometimes he had to choose between food and roulette. He once signed a contract giving a publisher the rights to all his work if he didn't deliver a novel in 30 days. The result? The Gambler, written in 26 days, dictated to a young stenographer named Anna. They later married. She saved his life, managed his finances, became his anchor. In the final 15 years of his life, Dostoevsky produced his greatest works, Crime and Punishment, 1866. A student murders an old pawnbroker, thinks he's above morality, but guilt eats him alive. The Idiot, 1869. A Christ-like man enters a corrupt society. He's mocked, destroyed. Why? Because real goodness terrifies people. Demons, 1872. A chilling look at political extremism, written decades before communism would ravage Russia. The Brothers Karamazov, 1880. A philosophical epic on God, free will, morality, and murder, considered by many his masterpiece. In these books, Dostoevsky didn't just tell stories. He asked, what makes us human? Why do we suffer? Can evil be forgiven? Dostoevsky died in 1881, age 59. His final words, a passage from the Bible about resurrection, but his voice never faded. Nietzsche called him a psychologist without equal. Freud saw him as a forerunner to psychoanalysis. Tolstoy, Camus, Kafka all owed him a debt. Even today, his books are read across the world, in prisons, in classrooms, in therapy offices, because Dostoevsky understood what it means to be human, flawed, afraid, and still searching for light. So what can we learn from Fyodor Dostoevsky? That greatness doesn't come from perfection. It comes from struggle, from staring into the abyss and writing your way out. He didn't sugarcoat life. He showed it raw, ugly, beautiful, because he believed one thing above all. The mystery of human existence lies not in just staying alive, but in finding something to live for.